So I'd like to call to order the Katuitt Fire District Board of Fire Commissioners meeting March 14th, 2023. The time is 17:34. Present, Commissioner Conley.
Commissioner Pisano.
Commissioner Zace.
Alrighty, Chief, we have anybody recording? No, sorry. Call to order public comment. Do we have any public comments sitting out there, Chief?
We do not have anything in the chat, and I have not received any email.
Okay. With that being said, we're going to, did everybody get a chance to take a look at the minutes?
I did.
Yep,
Okay, any issues, concerns?
not for me.
Okay, and I spoke to the chief already, with the exception of the spelling of my name. I thought they were good. But that's so
Where was that?
it started out correct, but then down the bottom it was CONOLLOY or some version of thereof, but all good. So do we have any motions?
Move we accept them as presented.
All those in
Second.
favor? Oh, second? Who's the second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And aye. So it is official. They are approved. All righty. Fire Chief's report. Chief, you are up, sir.
All right, good evening. The fire chief's report for the March 14th, 2023 Fire Commissioners meeting. Under responses, I did have a due out from the last commissioners meeting at the request of Commissioner Pisano in regards to the false alarms. And by and large, they are fire alarm activations, generally malfunctions. However, that also listed under that is the appropriate response to non-hostile smoke, so burnt food. So that there was one smoke from cooking and some false alarms with alarm systems. So, and and I realized I need to edit my report for the month of February. My report reads December. My apologies. For the month of February, we had 58 responses, one fire that was a mutual aid to calm, 38 EMS, one hazardous condition, which was elevated carbon monoxide levels in the residence, 12 service calls, one special incident, and 5 false alarms. Any questions under the responses?
Chief, what's the special incident?
That was a citizen complaint.
Okay.
So, and again, that has come up in the past. It's not a complaint about the organization. It's just somebody complains about an issue someplace that might have fire department implications, code or something of that nature, and we'll go investigate it.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Nope, I was going to ask the same thing, but you clarified it. Thank you.
Okay. Under administration, we continue to work on a town-wide active shooter hostile event response training exercise that will be coming up in April. Lieutenant Clark and I have been attending some meetings on getting that training started and coordinating the activities between the fire departments in the area and the police departments in the area. And I also continue to attend the Regional Emergency Communication Center feasibility meetings, and the first phase of that project is done, and the next phase is a design and development grant application that's been submitted by the town of Barnstable for the actual design and development of the what this facility will look like, and as well as the infrastructure and the operations inside that. So the grant award is maybe expected in sometime in May. And then the rest of that process will continue to move forward. Any questions under administration?
A question about the communication center program. COM has been hosting a limited service for us. What's their position about it? Are they looking forward to getting that responsibility off their plate and get it into a regional?
So I can't speak specifically for COM, but I can tell you that Chief Wynn and Chief Aldridge have been at all of the meetings and are active participants in the process and maintain engaged in all aspects of the feasibility study, and now moving on to the design and development phase.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions under administration?
No, the only comment I'd make is I appreciate your involvement in the ASHA training. I think that is extremely important that we're being proactive in that space. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Under technology, we had our first quarter meeting with our IT vendor to go over vulnerabilities, both our strengths and vulnerabilities within our IT, and it will try to boil that down into something that can be more easily presented to the board and to keep you updated on our IT projects. And there is in the budget, I'll be requesting some additional funds to increase our IT capabilities, mostly within our individual logins and our timeouts, and some of the essentially virtual server hosting that will bring us into better compliance with generally accepted security for computers that I'm sure some of you gentlemen know a lot about, given your careers and your backgrounds. Any questions under that?
Do they prepare a report out to you?
Yes. Yep, they do. So,
And is that something we could?
yeah, I can put that in your drive. I was gonna, I can put the raw information in there. I was gonna just try to take out any of the fluff, so to speak, but I can put the whole thing in there for you guys to look at.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions under technology?
Nope.
All right, under personnel, mostly a lot of training activities over the last month since we've last met. We had the forcible entry prop back from the county, and that we finished up everybody that missed getting that training. Firefighter Gardner attended a program called Saving Ourselves, which has a lot of self-rescue and survival training for firefighters in hostile environments, not the ASHA hostile, but hostile in the firefighting sense of the word. And so he attended some of that training off Cape. We had a large participation in a wildland drill at Joint Base Cape Cod on March 7th. Of course, as that got going, we also had a building fire on Mariner Drive. So a lot of the folks in attendance had to leave the training to respond to the building fire. And then the personnel have been utilizing the property next door to do SBA confidence exercises in that structure. So a lot of great engagement by the personnel, and a lot of good things happening. So, but again, training was the lion's share of our personnel activities over the last month. Any questions under personnel?
Can you remind me what SCBA stands for?
Yep. Excuse me. Yeah, so that's self-contained breathing apparatus.
Okay.
So Chief, was that the obstacle course that's been set up in there previously? Is that the work they did with it?
Yeah, so we had been borrowing equipment from COM, but we had some recent deliveries. The table, the stretcher, and various things that have come on pallets. Excuse me one second. And the crews actually used the pallets and some of the leftover lumber from that to build props, so that we have our own props now, and so that we can use it more frequently, and the crews have been going through there regularly. So it's pretty great what they did over there.
Cool. Did I miss that? Did you publish that date that was going on? Because I know in the past, we've tried to let the commissioners know that that's going to happen next door, and the commissioners try to stop by.
So that's been ongoing. So no, I did not publish. I did not publish it, but when they do that, I can send something out to everybody. It's been all on shift training.
So that's a different variable then. Previously, it had been an independent event, but if it's on shift training, that's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's most of that training has been on shift training.
Okay.
So just going over there in service and
Okay.
and doing the activities. So,
Thank you.
yep.
Under the general heading of personnel, where do we stand with advertising for hiring?
So based on what comes out of the meeting tonight, we'll start moving forward with that process, hopefully tomorrow. So an executive session will review the proposed deputy chief's contract, assuming after we come out and the executive session and it's approved, then we'll have a scheduled date for the permanent appointment, and we'll start getting moving with that process. So.
And in that same vein, has there been any more discussion about finishing the promotional process?
Yep, yeah, we want to move forward with that as quickly as possible as well, and we'll assemble a group of people to conduct the. We're not going to use an outside vendor for that phase of the exam. We'll assemble the appropriate subject matter experts to do the board.
Good, thank you.
So Rick, just in everyone, just here, face, the chief and I had discussed the posting of that position. And basically the decision was made that once we do lock down the chief contract, rather than having the deputy chief contract, rather than having a false start from a date's point of view, we'd just wait till that was done and then execute against that. So that was the rationale. It was a deputy.
Yep, fine.
Okay. Any other questions under personnel? Okay. Apparatus and equipment. So still no movement on 267. We've been working on getting which is the brush breaker. Working on trying to get a valuation of that vehicle, which is the closest thing is I've been able to find so far are commercial cab pumpers of that vintage, which are around $40,000 to $50,000 of value. However, we're going to work on getting a more accurate evaluation of that. The UTV, also no movement on that. I have been in touch with the county. They probably about a week and a half ago, they emailed me and said that they're working on the intermunicipal agreement for the utility vehicle. And I'm just waiting on an updated AMA for that. Initially, the skid unit that I was going to try to put in the capital budget, looks like DCR has a skid unit that they can transfer over to us. And next week, Lieutenant McNamara and I are gonna go up and take a look at that and see if it suits our needs. But all indications are that it will. So if everything continues to move forward, we'll do some shuffling of resources, and hopefully if everything works out appropriately, we will be able to execute that move of the breaker to the joint base, which they'll do the refurbishment in it. Will still be available to the district, and they'll staff it, they'll maintain it. It would be available for mutual aid to Katuitt if we ever needed it. We'll have the utility vehicle and the skid unit transferred over to us, and those are more appropriate pieces of equipment for the environment that we're operating in right now. And then lastly, actually, I have two things. 262 went out for PM for preventative maintenance and have some lights checked that were coming on in the dashboard, some maintenance lights. And then lastly, last word from the vendor that Lieutenant McNamara has been in contact with is hopefully 263 will be back at the end of this month. And I still don't have the exact cost of what that will be. We're still operating in that $20,000 ballpark estimate that we started down the road of, though. So, any questions on the apparatus and equipment?
Chief, I want to hop you back to 267 for 1 second and just give expound a little bit on your comments there. So the chief and Lieutenant Clark have done a nice job, I believe, looking to try to find something that matches the brush breaker. And it really doesn't seem to exist. I spent some time trying to find it as well. So rather than taking an estimate of something that is not really what the reality of the brush breaker is, Chief, you got Bulldog fire apparatus coming in, what, the 17th of this month, maybe? Is it the 17th, or what day is it?
Sometime next week.
Yeah, whenever it is. So we're gonna actually have some people, an organization that's built those things, been involved with those things in the past, to give us a real good number, so that as we go forward with making an arrangement with Joint Base, if it's appropriate, we'll know what the real value of this thing is before we make that move. So doing a little bit of extra due diligence because of the nature of the beast.
Yeah, thank you. And that it's the 21st that they'll be by. So. Okay, any other questions or comments on the apparatus and equipment?
Have any word from Sandwich about their ambulance delivery?
Yeah, so looking like sometime in May. So I'll be sending some communications with Commissioner Conley today. I'm going to be sending that intermunicipal agreement to legal. We did have a meeting with Sandwich a week or two ago to look at some of the operational granularity level aspects of the project. That's what was with the 2 EMS officers and the 2 fire chiefs. So Sandwich is sending their the agreement to their legal. We're going to send it to our legal, make sure that the lawyers are okay with everything, and then hopefully we'll move closer to execution, and maybe June or the very beginning of the fiscal year. We should be able to move that project. So, and on that note, I did, I'm not sure at this point. It doesn't look like the power load's going to be in that unit, but we're exploring some options for that as well, from grants to, there is currently a power load in there, but it looks like it's gonna, if the grants don't come through and other funding options, it'll be the manual system that's in there. So, but we're collectively, we, Sandwich and Katuitt, are looking at options to ensure that that has a power load in it.
Chief, and just real quick, staying on the theme of ambulances, spare 262, and how about new? Could you give the team an update on the new one?
Yep, still, I actually just talked to the vendor today. And still no word on when the cabin chassis are gonna be rolling out, so it will be sometime, best case is sometime towards the end of, calendar year 24 before we see anything, so.
Okay, we do have everything signed, sealed, we're locked in, correct?
We are locked in for the cabin chassis. We do not have the contract inked for the box. And because they're still working on their prices for what it's gonna cost them a year out from now. Because the cabin chassis is, 1 second, I have, let's see in here. The cabin chassis they don't know when the cabin chassis is gonna roll off and arrive, and then that's gonna drive when they start buying the equipment to put on there, and so they're still working to what those costs are gonna be. So, but everything will be on the on a GPO, so everything's gonna be on a group purchasing organization. So it'll be within the bid, it'll be within the bid limits that have been established. So.
Right, so, but from a budget point of view, we're really trying to get a moving target right now.
Yep, yes, and
Yeah.
that's what I emphasized with the vendor today. So that we're down to the wire, and we need a number to put in our warrant. And that was the conversation that I was having today, and I was really hoping to see something today to share with you this evening. So, but I still do not have that. But we are in the queue for the cabin chassis though.
Good.
Which
Thank
is
you.
the biggest component of it right now, is or the biggest wild card in this process is when that's gonna show up.
Got it. And I apologize, but I'm gonna jump you back to the spare for a second. Can you just give the group here an idea on what the painting, what the spare will look like when it comes to fruition, just so they have a heads up?
So as far as it'll be.
The placards.
Yeah, okay, so, yeah, so as far as the appearance of it, it'll have ambulance on the side of it. It will look pretty much similar to what it is, and Sandwich will be removed from it, and we'll have essentially a Katuitt patch on the side and a Sandwich patch on the side. So just Sandwich, Katuitt, and then the ambulance logo that's currently on the side of it. And numbering is still to be determined, because the county works on assigning those numbers. So it'll probably be 264, but I don't know. So,
Okay, thank you, sir.
yep, thank you. Any other questions under apparatus and equipment? So, okay. Facilities, we had the Plimo event service, just the general PM recently, and then I've made the decision to not replace the front stairs right now. Just stick with the ramp and use that savings in other places in the firehouse. So questions on the facilities?
Hey, Chief, I know we were waiting for a price, and I think doesn't really matter who it was from. Did you ever get a price for what the front stairs would have cost?
No. We reached out to numerous vendors, and one did come into only one actually showed up, and then we still haven't gotten a quote from them. So,
There is it's a local one, isn't it?
yeah, yep. So, yeah,
It'd be nice to get that quote, especially if they've already been out, just to get or at least a ballpark, if nothing else.
mhm. Yeah.
Be good to have that information going forward.
Yeah, we'll still work on getting that because I think it'll be important as future conversations evolve in regards to the facilities needs and things of that nature to really understand the true cost of you know, maintaining the station, bringing it up to where it needs to be to serve the modern fire service versus some of the other options that have been ongoing prior to my arrival, from, you know, a new facility to refurbishing and all of those. So yeah, I'm in wholehearted agreement with you there that I think that's a valuable part of the conversation. All right, any other questions under facilities?
Nope.
All right. With that, that concludes my report, pending any questions.
Yeah, any questions for the chief?
Hey,
No,
Okay, great, thank you. Subcommittees. I'm gonna go to you, Adam. Do you have any info?
I haven't heard anything. Fran Parks might be able to chime in if she knows anything.
The chair recognizes Fran Parks.
Thank you. Are we referring to the school?
Yes.
Yeah.
The latest I've heard from our town councilor is that they expect the vote on the transfer of the property to be on their agenda this spring.
So could be March, April, May, June.
Correct,
Definite possibility of a maybe.
correct.
Gotcha.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Okay, and as far as needs assessment, the chief and I have had several conversations on needs assessment for the next station. The chief and I have been reviewing some of the work that had been done previously by Chief Rude and myself. I believe the chief has brought in Lieutenant Clark and Lieutenant McNamara into the conversation. So as we go down the line, down the road, we will have some additional updates. I do currently have the plans that were leveraged previously on building out to the right side of the station, just so that I can have a view of it, as well as to contact the engineering company to get some thoughts. Because as I look at things, we have 3 different options, right? And again, I want to, kind of get this on the record so everybody starts thinking of this. We have 3 options going forward. One option is to leverage the current environment and build it out somehow, which means we'd have to live, the guys would live at the house while that was going on. Second option would be to get a brand new piece of property somewhere and build a brand new facility. And the third option would be to find a piece of a building of some sort, and then to renovate that building to be a firehouse. So just want to make sure that we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's as we're going forward. To me, it's not a question of where it's going to be right now, and I've said this before. It's a question of, what do we need, and how quickly can we, move forward to start making reality there. I think everybody knows on this call right now that, as a new engine is looked at, we're going to have it custom built to go into the current bays, and that's going to cost additional funds. So we're fighting a losing battle with that building, and the sooner we do something as an organization, the better off we are. All right. All righty, that's that report. Let's see, what do we
we'll
have?
add
New
that
business.
the bylaws committee is trying to get together before the end of the month. We're in the process of
Oh,
churning through date options, so we may be able to get that before our next meeting. And there are some things I understand that are going to be brought forward on the agenda that will have relevance to the financial status of the district. So I will keep you posted once we get that locked down.
Commissioner Fasano, thank you, and I apologize for not recognizing you. I just had dropped that one, so thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I inadvertently left FY 24 budget discussion under new business. It should have been moved up to old business if there is anything that you wish to bring up on that.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on that or thoughts on that? I know that I think everybody's had a chance to take a look at the spreadsheets.
I don't have any questions right now.
You're
No,
gonna
nor
reserve,
do
you're gonna
I.
reserve your right to ask questions later, Adam?
So I'm back on Tuesday, so I'm any questions I have will start on Wednesday.
Thank you. We appreciate the warning. Go ahead, Rick.
No, my friends are just about done clearing out his house, so
Yes, everybody listening knows, right? Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. Alrighty. With that, do we have any other comments? Actually, we're not, we're still in open session right now, right? So right now, we're going to, if anybody doesn't have anything, if there's not anything else that we should talk about now, we're going to go into closed session. So with that, I'll give one final. Does anybody have any questions? We are going to come back into public session. I'm estimated it'll probably be, Chief, what do you think? 15 minutes would be a guess, 20 minutes?
I'll go with 20.
Okay, I'm not gonna guarantee that, but you know, that's what possibly it'll be. Okay. With that, I propose purpose 3, let's see, executive session purpose 3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation. If an open meeting law may have a detrimental effect the open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigation position of the public body and the chair so declares. Bargaining Unit Local 3642, discussion regarding the contract of the fire chief, deputy fire chief. The committee will return to open session. Do I have any,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. We are now in executive session.
All right, I'm gonna move some of the participants into the waiting room. And so Fran, Jack, and Lieutenant Clark, and if you folks just hang tight, and we'll get back to you as quick as we can. So waiting room. And
Excellent.
and I'm gonna pause the recording. Recording is back on.
Cool. Alrighty, we are back. Actually, back in session for the Katuitt Fire District Board of Fire Commissioners. We appreciate your patience, everyone, and thank you for hanging in there as we had a few discussions. Let's see, regarding some contracts here. So we do have 3 contracts we need to vote on right now. The first one is for the chief. Do we have the verbiage of that handy? Fire chief report.
Yep, I can.
MOU, fire chief MOU.
I can pull it up and share the screen if you'd like, Mr.
You know
Chair.
what? I think that probably would be good to give everybody an idea on what the motion is going to be and what it's about.
Okay.
I will summarize in that it is bringing the fire chief's contract in line with the fiscal year from a vacation perspective. No additional compensation, strictly verbiage relative to vacation time. Chief, did I summarize that well enough?
Yes, currently the accrual is on my anniversary date, and all the other organizational accruals occur on July 1. So this just brings the contract in line with all of the other accrual days. For the
Okay.
fire.
So with that, if you can share it, that's great. If not, don't worry about it. Do we have any motion here?
There it
Nope,
should
there it is.
right there. Yeah, hopefully you can see it now.
Yep.
Okay.
Give everybody a couple seconds to take a look at that. Okay. Everybody good there? Everybody have a chance to take a look?
Yep.
All righty. Anybody with a motion?
We accept the memorandum of agreement between Sean Brown and Katuitt Fire District as displayed.
Do we have a second?
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
And I pass unanimously. Thank you, Chief. I would ask that we send a copy of this over to the Financial Committee for signature as well.
Correct.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, do we want to, which one do you want to do next, Chief? You want to bring up the deputy?
Sure.
Okay.
Let me get that up here.
So the deputy's contract, for everybody's information, has been reviewed by legal, has been reviewed by the commissioners, and it will have a vote in a second, but the reality is it's in line with what we have done previously with deputy contract. So there is no significant change relative to anything that's in the previous contract and in this contract.
Except for the line item compensation.
right.
That's valid, absolutely. Okay, do we have a motion?
I move we accept the deputy contract. Do we have, can you scroll up, Chief? How do
All the
we,
way to the top, Chief.
I move that we accept the employment agreement between Shane Clark and the Katuitt Fire District as displayed.
In this,
Second.
and just a quick comment there, this will be effective, have an effective date of March 24th. We good with that being amended into the conversation here? That's to be the effective date of his deputy position.
So I think, okay, I move that we accept the employment agreement between Shane Clark and the Katuitt Fire District as displayed and to be amended for the proper commencement date of March 20.
Great, thank you.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
And I, unanimous. Deputy, congratulations.
Thank you. I thank all three of you, the chief. I know Kevin and I had spoken. I think we're in a really good place. The future is bright here in Katuitt, and just happy to move forward and help the organization get a little better here.
We're glad you're here. We're glad you're with us. So all goodness.
Yeah, thank you, Shane.
Thank you, Shane.
Okay, we have one final contract to agree on or to approve here. It's the contract that we've been working on with the local. This is obviously subject to ratification by the local, but we need to, as commissioners, agree to the agreement that has been worked out between the fire district, the fire commissioners, and the local. Okay, I know we've had a lot of hours looking at this thing. Everything is, as has been discussed. Chief, you want to bring that one up?
Yeah, working on that right now.
Bless you.
Bless you, Rick.
Deputy, we might have you working the computer next time. There we go.
Yeah.
All righty. Do we have a motion?
Well, do you want to summarize in open session here?
I'm not sure that there's any Well,
All right.
I mean, it becomes public in a matter as soon as it's signed.
Right.
Go ahead.
So I was gonna say, Rick, why don't we just alternate here? You make the motion on this one.
I move we accept the modified contract or memorandum of agreement between Katuitt Fire District and Katuitt Firefighters Local Union 3642 as presented tonight, and that we forward it to the union for their vote.
All
Second,
those, second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous on that one. Alrighty, Chief, you'll let, I'm sure Casey will know shortly anyways, but let's make sure Casey knows, and I think he'll call a meeting of his local. We have one final one, Chief. Do you have the letter?
Yep.
So for background, one of our firefighters' wife is having a baby, I think within the next week, has requested that we, I don't want to use the word honor, but has requested that the verbiage that is in the contract that we just voted to agree on for paternity leave be allowed to him to be leveraged, because his wife will be having the baby prior to this union contract being signed. You can make that a little bigger if you can blow that up, Chief, that'd be great. So basically, this request from the local is that we bring forward the benefit that will be included in the contract when it is ratified. Bring it forward for, the birth of his child coming forward within the next week or so or thereabouts. Okay. Any questions here, gentlemen? We'll go to that in a second. Do we have a motion? Should have been asked.
I move that we grant firefighter Scott Mellinson's requests for paternity leave as requested and as requested. How's that?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All
I'm
right,
good with it.
all those in favor?
Fran has her hand up.
Okay, so we're in, so Fran, you're on mute.
Sorry, I just have a question that I think you probably should run that through the legal department before you authorize use of a provision in an unsigned contract. I mean, state law, he's, he can have a paternity leave, correct?
Right. So this is more about us extending a benefit, right, relative to leveraging of his sick time versus what the law states. The law is very specific on what is available. The law also says that an employer does not have to provide any compensation. So we have provided compensation in the past for a firefighter whose wife had a baby. And this that he is requesting is exactly in line with what is inside the contract. And they have called out inside that letter that this does not represent any type of a precedent going forward.
So I'm still, so you've done this in the past. I'm just concerned that you're using a provision in a new contract that hasn't been signed by everybody.
Right. No, I don't disagree with that, but we are, as I see it, and perhaps I'm wrong here, and it's good to have the discussion. As I see it, all we're doing is, we could take the verbiage that's specifically in the contract. And Chief, can you bring the letter back up if you would?
Yep. Just a moment.
Yeah, let me pause my comment. Let me just grab this again. Yeah, it's still not showing for me.
How about that?
Not there yet.
Is,
Okay. Let's blow that up a little bit. Okay. So if the verbiage is in there as I anticipated, which is the verbiage calls out specifically what is being requested. While it is referencing back to the collective bargaining agreement, it is calling out, we request that the be allowed to use the accumulated sick time to a maximum of 4 weeks for total paid time off and the purpose of paternity leave. So independent, that letter could stand by itself, independent of the collective bargaining agreement. They're requesting that we allow him to take 4 weeks of paternity leave with the sick time. So maybe more than anything else, we're voting for him to have 4 weeks of paternity leave for sick time.
Okay.
it's really all we're voting for. The fact that those terms happen to parallel what will appear in the collective bargaining agreement that the union still has to ratify is incidental.
Right.
Not an increased benefit or anything additional in his accrued banks.
So that's how I will frame the motion. Just what's written there, not mention the contract.
I think that's smart.
I don't think I said the contract, but
No, okay, so let's, how do we take a motion off the table?
Just Adam just withdraws it.
I withdraw the motion and I'll restate it.
Thank you. If you could restate it with that sentence that's there, Adam, would be greatly appreciated.
Which sentence are you referring to? Okay.
That we grant,
We request, we grant, yeah.
I move that we grant firefighter Scott Mellison's request for paternity leave
Well,
as requested in the letter displayed on the screen now.
which includes that he be allowed to accumulate sick time to a maximum of 4 weeks of total paid time off for the purpose of paternity leave.
The whole letter, we can't read the letter. We can
to
read.
use, okay, so guys, so let's back up 1 second. He's using accumulated, he's not accumulating, so he's using accumulated. So if I'm gonna give a whack at this motion if I could. Is that okay?
That's fine. Yep.
Okay, so I make a motion that we grant firefighter Melanson 4 weeks of sick time utilizing his accumulated sick time for purposes of a paternity leave.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Okay, discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, we're good there. Okay, I do believe that's all we have left to vote on. Anybody, is there any, as we move towards the end of this meeting, do we have any public comment out there at this point, Chief?
There is nothing in the chat, and let me jump over to my email, and there is nothing in the email.
Okay. With that, I will entertain motions.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Looks like it's
Good night,
unanimous.
everybody.
Thanks,
Take care.
everybody, guys. Appreciate you jumping on tonight. Have a great night, everyone.
Okay, good night.
Take care.